I just wanted to share about a book, another book. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it is, I would say, an oldie but a goodie because it was written quite a while ago, but still relevant to today and is still helping people change their perspective about their current financial situation and future planning for their long-term investment, for their retirement. It really just has a different perspective than most what is taught in most schools. Even in my economics class in college, they didn't even touch what you learn in this book. And this book is definitely more valuable to me than my economics class was. I learned about economics in college, but obviously not any way to really apply it and make future plans knowing that information. So this book makes it easy to understand. It has a lot of diagrams in it and charts and things that kind of break down the information in it. If you're a visual learner, it just helps to kind of see the charts. And like even when I think about the book, I still kind of picture these charts in my mind, and just how it started shifting my perspective of money. And actually, since reading this book, I did get to meet the guy that is called Rich Dad in this book, which wasn't really Robert's real dad. It was his friend's dad, but he was the more wealthy dad compared to his dad, who was a professor and had a normal income and a normal lifestyle. And then he had his friend who had a rich dad who had businesses and investments and a totally different lifestyle. And he learned from both of them, and then kind of put in this book the differences and the different mindset and the different way of thinking and the different way of spending money, saving money, thinking about money, planning your financial future. And so I highly recommend this book. Obviously, I'm a woman, and sometimes people would think, well, isn't that book more for men? And I say, no, it's really not, because women need to know this information too. And even for women who don't really want to, be the breadwinner, so to speak, in the home, it's still really valuable to understand the information, because it's not always about how you're working to bring money in. It's more about what you're doing with the money that you have, and also thinking outside the box. Sometimes you don't even need money to create money. You can just have an idea, and that idea can create money. And so it's really important for women too to understand these concepts, because you don't have to go to work to make money. That's kind of that is one way, but just when you read this book, you'll be open to, like, wow, there's just so many other ways to make money, and so many other ways to think about making money. And it really starts to add up over time. So I'm glad that I read this when I was, I think I was like 18 or 19 years old when I read this book. And I'm so thankful that I was introduced to that at a young age, because now I'm 35 and I've had time to really apply some of these things, or just have that idea in my mind about my goals. My goals definitely shifted after reading that book, as far as how I wanted to create money and how I wanted to invest money and spend money. So another thing, actually, I read that book when I was young, and then a few years ago, maybe like 6 years ago or 5 years ago, I started taking a lot of classes, real estate classes and investing classes that Robert Kiyosaki put on, and he wasn't actually the instructor of the class, but he had put together like a school, so to speak, with I think there was like 8 or 9 classes, all related to real estate investing, but just different parts, like buy and hold, or the rentals, or commercial real estate, or foreclosures, or short sales. And so there was like these different classes that I got to take and learn about all this stuff. And some of it I've used, some of it I haven't yet, but it's still just, a wealth. I mean, still great to have the information and just to start understanding some of the verbiage, some of the concepts that I wouldn't have understood or even really known what they meant without taking the classes. So that book, had I not read it, who knows if I would have been inspired or been kind of drawn to taking these classes. And one of the uh, benefits to that class that I took was actually having a mentor. And so many people, when they talked about when they were trying to sell people on the class, they just said, one of the best benefits is really having the mentor. And that was my experience as well, because the mentor helped hold me accountable to actually take action and get a rental property, where if I didn't have that mentor, it would have been easy to keep thinking about it, hoping for it, and maybe never doing it, or doing it and not feeling 100% sure about what I was doing. So anyways, that's just another side thing, that there are some classes and things that Robert Kiyosaki puts on. But start with the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and you can get it on Amazon. You could probably get it at your local library. There is an audio version of it. I do recommend the visual version, the written version. Even just I would recommend like getting the actual hard copy compared to getting the Kindle version, because of the there's just something about being able to see it and then make a little, like, write in the book or highlight things that stand out to you. But however you do it, it's going to be beneficial. So take advantage of that. And if you've already read this book, let me know what kind of difference it made for you in your life. And if you haven't read it yet, go and read it, and then come back and tell me what it did for you, or if it changed your perspective on some financial planning in your future. So stay tuned with me for the next video. I have lots more books that I want to review, or courses that I've taken that I want to review, and just different ideas that I want to keep putting out there on my little YouTube channel. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.